Hello and welcome to the 75th episode of the Sock Bunny Knit and Fit video podcast. My name is Kimberly, also known as Sock Bunny, and today is Thursday, February 28th, 2013. If you are a new viewer, thank you so much for joining me, and if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I am Sock Bunny pretty much everywhere on the internet, on Ravelry, Plurk, Instagram, Google+, on Google Plus, I think you have to search for Kimberly Sock Bunny. Twitter, iTunes, YouTube, and Blip.tv, and all of those are Sock Bunny. The blog is at sockbunnyknitandfit.blogspot.com. The email address is sockbunnyknitandfit@gmail.com, and the Etsy shop is sockbunnystudios.etsy.com. I did receive two new iTunes reviews from WV Kelly and A29301. So thank you very much for your very kind words. And I also received several more star ratings, so thank you. And if you are in a country other than the United States, I can't see your review, but I really do appreciate it if you leave one for me. I do have a shop update coming this Sunday, March 3rd. It will be at 2 o'clock, and I'm going to show the items that I'm going to be adding to the shop. I'll show that at the end of the podcast. And I do want to show you, I had mentioned before that I am sending 50 little mini skeins to Tina of the Knitting Blooms podcast for her Knitopia retreat in April. And I made all the little packets up. So I just wanted to show you. These are what will be going to them. And basically what I did is I took a baggie, a Ziploc bag, and put the podcast button in there, some candy, the mini skein, um, the mini skein, also my business card, and also there's a coupon in here. So if you are going to Knitopia, you will have a coupon for 20% off your next purchase with me. So I will be mailing those out probably next week. I will take those to the post office. I have to find a box to put them in. So that's all that's going on as far as introductions. Let's see, what are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk about fitness, finished objects, works in progress, knit and crochet alongs, a book review, spinning, tips and tricks, favorite things, and what I am watching and reading. And in case you're wondering what I am wearing a hitchhiker that was knit by the lovely Dawn from the Wolf Farms podcast. It's actually chilly in Florida today, and by chilly, I mean 60s. So I figured this might be one of my last chances to wear something hand knit on the podcast until fall. I have a feeling this might be our last cold snap. Almost all of our trees have their leaves back, so I think we're pretty much done with cool weather. I have had a headache the last couple of days. Whenever there's a front that comes through, it really affects my sinuses and gives me a headache. So I may not be as perky as usual, but that's okay. So first let's talk about fitness. We do have a fitness along going on in the Sock Bunny Knit and Fit podcast group. If you work out any day at least 30 consecutive minutes, you can post your workout in the corresponding month's thread. Post each day's workouts in a separate post in the thread. And the first podcast of the following month, I will draw a winner. The winner will get to have either a $5 giftable pattern on Ravelry, or they could choose some yarn or fiber that I will dye for them in up to 3 colors, or they can pick something that's already in the Etsy shop. So I will be drawing the February winner in the next episode next week. I use Spark People to track my fitness minutes. I am working towards getting 1,000 miles, and I can run, walk, spin, bicycle, swim, although I don't swim very well yet, but I'm actually going to look into taking adult swimming lessons because I want to be able to swim better. I never really learned as a kid how to swim properly, so I'm actually going to look into that. So my 1,000 miles, I'm tracking it, and I haven't shown it in a while, so I thought I would show it today because I'm pretty much at a milestone. I am almost 1/3 of the way to my 1,000 miles. I am at 319, and 333 would be a third. So I'm going to show you my fitness poster. We do every month have, starting this month, have a fitness poster contest. And it's really motivating several people. So if you are interested in making a fitness poster and then and it positively um, empowering you and making you want to work out and stretch yourself, go to the Sock Bunny thread. There's a post about the fitness. It explains it all. It's sort of confusing, so it's easier just to read it. So if you're interested in that, go to the Sock Bunny group and check it out. But here's my poster. It's really gigantic, and I haven't shown it in a while. I'll try to get a big shot here. So these are individually numbered from 1 to 1,000, and each mile that I do, I get to put a sticker, and you can see that I am at 319 miles here. I started using my fish and sea creature stickers that my secret admirer sent to me. And so it's pretty fun putting those stickers on there. And then for the fitness poster contest, you need to have measurable things that you're doing and concrete rewards for when you get there. So my rewards I do every 40 miles, and you can see that I have earned things like a manicure and a pedicure, which I still have not cashed in. I'm saving them for a special thing. I might get them before I go to Stitches. Actually, that's a good idea. Um, and I earned a shawl pin and a Dalek knitting bag from Tangerine Designs. I also earned a Knittables bag, a Doctor Who t-shirt. I just recently earned the book Knit One, Knit All, and that is, I believe, Elizabeth Zimmerman. I think her daughter might have put it out, but it's Elizabeth Zimmerman. I'm actually looking, if anybody has that book and doesn't want it anymore and wants to sell it relatively cheap, let me know. I'd rather buy from somebody who wants to destash it. Otherwise, I'll try to find it on eBay or Amazon. Um, so when I get to 320, which will be probably tonight, then I earned the custom bag that I got from Useful Things, who is This Mom Knits on Plurk, and This Mom Knits 2 on Ravelry, and this is the bag that she had made for me, so I'm making myself earn it. And then I ordered a custom, not a custom bag. I ordered a project bag from Sam of Knit Run Dig podcast, and when that gets here, that'll be my 360-mile goal. I do have some other books and stuff that I want, so you can see that portion there. And then I also am doing a Couch to 5K, which today is I'm supposed to do my week to day 1, but I think I'm going to wait and do it tomorrow because I'll probably go to spin class tonight instead. So when I finish all 9 weeks of the Couch to 5K, which is a running training program, in case you haven't heard of it, it takes you in 9 weeks from being a couch potato to be able to run a 5K, which is 3.2 miles. And so my prize for that is going to be a fitness tracker, like either a heart rate monitor or an activity monitor or something like that. In the meantime, I'll do research and see which one I want. I've seen several different things and I don't know what I want. I might talk to some of the instructors at the gym and see what they say. So that is my fitness poster. I hadn't shown it in a couple of months, I think, so I wanted to show you guys. Let's see. Oh, and I didn't mention when I get to my 1,000 miles, I get to go stay at a Disney resort, and the one I want to stay at is the Contemporary Resort. And so these are some pictures that I got off the internet to motivate me. I've wanted to stay there since I was a little kid. Okay, let's see. Oh, I forgot to mention this last week, but I did sign up for a color run. And what a color run is it's usually a 5K race, and you wear a white t-shirt, and then they have these what they call color bombs, and they're like dye. I don't know what kind of dye it is, probably food coloring, but it's in starch. And basically they like let that go and dump it on you and stuff like that. And people are like throwing it in the air. I haven't done it but Diane from Knittables did it and she talked about it back in the fall. And so I signed up for one. It's in May and it's by a group called Color Me Rad. And there it some of it does go to, now I'm drawing a total blank. I think it might be Special Olympics or some sort of charity. I'm pretty sure. I'll have to double check that. Let me make myself a note so I can tell you next time. So anyway, I am going to be doing that. I have heard that those color runs, you don't really actually get to run very much because you're so busy trying to get covered in the color. So, and I'll be sure to take a lot of pictures. I think it's going to be really fun. It's the last weekend in May, which I believe is Memorial Day weekend. I think it's May 25th, that Saturday. If you are in the Tampa Bay area and you would like to do something like that, or if you're even in Central Florida and want to come over and do it, please let me know. I did, it's colormerad.com, and I did create a team, even though I'm the only one so far, called Team Sock Bunny. So if you are interested in that, definitely I would love to have you join me. I think it would be really fun. And like I said, I don't think I'm going to be running that whole thing. I think it's a lot of running and walking and running and walking. So um, that's about it for fitness. As far as Weight Watchers goes, I'm still tracking. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Things are going well. Like I said, I'm not going to mention specific numbers as far as weight loss or anything because I don't think that's the important thing as much as feeling better and motivating and stuff like that. So things are on task how they're supposed to be, and I can tell that I have more energy. And I partially think that's because I haven't been consuming as much sugar because one, I haven't been drinking sodas. I've been drinking the last 2 Sundays. I had a half of a soda, a half a Coke. And then, and I haven't been eating a lot of candy or anything like that because I want to stay within my points range. So, I think that's really why. And also, I have been working out more. And so I actually feel better. So to me, that's more important than even the weight loss, is how I feel. Even if I never lose another pound, if I can keep feeling as good as I've been feeling the last couple of weeks, I will be really happy with that. Let's see. Finished objects? I don't have any. Works in progress. I have a few. The first, as you have probably heard, I am designing a pie shawl. I wish this thing was done. I just wish I had more time to devote to it, but other things keep taking up my time. How dare they? It's a half pie shawl, and I think I'm on somewhere around 125 rows. The rows right now have 320 stitches per row, so it does take a while to get through them. So I'm not going to show you what it looks like, except, and it's not that bright in real life. It's probably there we go. That's, whenever I show you close up, that's what it looks like. You can see there are some beads and some lace. And I'm using my lavender lace weight yarn, which is wool and bamboo mix. I'm really liking knitting with it. So that I wanted to have done by today. We'll say 2 more weeks at the most. And I do have a test knitter, as I mentioned before, Sarah Apple Blossom SF, and she's working on it. So I can't wait to see how hers turns out too. And my sexy librarian sweater. This is the classic 150 lace pullover or something like that by Classic Elite Yarns. And I am about halfway up. It's about almost halfway done with the front. This ribbing, I have a little bit more of the ribbing to do, and it ends like right under here. So I finished the back already. This is the front, and then I would have the 2 sleeves and the seaming. And I really like it. And this is Kramer Yarns. I know I'm probably not saying it right. Tatami Tweed, DK. I really, really like it. It's a cotton acrylic blend. And it's very nice to knit with. My sock head hat, I did not work on it this week, but I wanted to give you an update on what's going on. If you remember, I had started knitting it with Wisdom Yarns North Pole sock. I love the North Pole colorways, and I love Wisdom Yarns sock yarn. I've knit at least 3 other pairs of socks with that yarn, and I really like it. But this particular ball, I threw it over here. Still on the floor here. This particular ball, I don't know if I got a defective ball or if this yarn is just this scratchy, but it is like knitting with sandpaper. So I contacted Wisdom Yarns directly because I had purchased this in Rhode Island and I didn't want to have to contact the store in Rhode Island to try to exchange it and all that kind of stuff. So I contacted Wisdom Yarns and I did hear back, and they gave me several choices of different sock yarns to choose from. I ended up choosing a colorway from their Poems sock yarn. I wanted to choose another colorway of the North Pole, but they all have the tinsel, I guess you could call it, in there, and I didn't want to take the chance that I wouldn't like it. So I got their Poems sock yarn. I can't remember which colorway I ended up getting. It's one that's blues with a little bit of gray in it, I think, because I thought it would make a pretty shawl like to wear with jeans. So, and oh, my socks that I'm making for my daughter's friend's mom, the one that has 11 kids, I sent her a picture because she mentioned she doesn't really like surprises. So I sent her a picture, and she said that she's not a big fan of orange. And probably not neon orange, but she was just probably being nice. So I am not going to be making these for her. I'm going to knit this as a shop sample because if I ever do any shows, which I might be, doing some shows where I sell my yarn and stuff, um, I wanted to have some shop samples. So I'm going to knit this one sock up as a shop sample and then use the rest in sock blankets and like little tiny things like that. This is the yarn. This is my, it's not this bright. This is my 80s fashion too. It's the 80s fashion colorway, but I dyed it in a different fashion. Get it? And so anyway, I'll finish that, and then I will knit a pair of bluish purplish socks for her. She said that's what she would prefer, and I probably will end up using the Aurora Borealis colorway because that has a lot of blues and purples in it, or maybe my new Rhymes with Purple. I haven't decided yet, so as soon as I finish this sock, I'll cast on for her. Okay, is that it for knitting? I believe it is. I did not get a chance to work on my Doctor Who pillow. I am making that for our current knit along that we have going on in the Sock Bunny group. It is, I'm using 4 dishcloth designs by Hollynarf, or Holynarf, Holynarf. Her name is Lindsay. And I showed last week that I had done, and I'll show you again, I had done a Dalek out of some Karen Simply Soft, and so I have to do 3 more of these and then seam them together and make a pillow out of it. I may not make my own deadline for the sci-fi knit along, but that's okay because I can't win prizes. And really, my focus this week is going to be the shawl. I don't really even want to work on anything else until I finish the shawl. I may not even have anything to show you guys next week, but maybe I'll have a finished shawl. Wouldn't that be awesome? Okay. So we have the sci-fi knit along going on. It ends March 15th, and then I will be giving away a pattern with $5 or less. And then I also have 2 sets of stitch markers that were gifted to the podcast by Courtney. And I'll show you those. I showed them last week, but they're the kind that have the little beads on there. And there's 2 sets of these that I will give away. So there will be 3 prizes for the sci-fi knit along. And it could be sci-fi or fantasy or anything like that. If you're wondering if it will fit, just ask me. It has to have been started February 1st or after and finished by March 15th. And just tell me what your sci-fi reference or nerd reference is when you post it. And I'm really liking seeing what everybody has done so far. Starting March 16th, we are going to have March 16th until May 31st is our knit and crochet with hand spun. And actually you could do knit, crochet, or weaving with hand spun. It could be yarn that you spun or somebody else spun. And if you are interested in donating a prize to that particular knit, crochet, weave along. Did I say spin? Okay, knit, crochet, weave. Any of those three things you can use hand spun for. And I assigned partners for the Easter swap last Friday. Yes, it was last Friday. And you should have your partner by now. If you have any questions, let me know. Denise from the Knitting Den wanted to know if other people were going to be contacting their partners, and I'm going to say that that's totally up to you. Everybody knows who their partner is, who they're sending to, who they're receiving from. So if you want to contact the person you're sending to or whatever, that's totally up to you. It's not secret, so I will leave that up to each individual what you want to do with that. I hadn't really thought about contacting my person, but I think this is going to be fun. I've actually already started buying some little goodies. I love swaps. I think they're fun. Yes, sometimes they're disappointing, but I would say only 1% of the time have I ever been disappointed. 99% of the time I'm happy. So those are odds I'm willing to play with. And I actually really have more fun buying from my swap partner than I do getting the stuff most of the time. Okay, so those are knitted crochet alongs. I have a book review. I checked a book out of the library, and the reason I did is you might remember a week or two ago I showed that Heather WB had sent me some yarn. This is a used skein of the colorway that she sent me. She sent me 2 skeins of this because I had mentioned that I wanted to have enough of this to make a blanket, like a really happy, and it's not that bright, really happy blanket out of it. And so I have almost 4 whole skeins of this now. So I went to the library and I looked for a book that had, I want to do crochet. That's the direction I was leaning anyway. And so I found a book, and it's from the library. It's called Family Circle Easy Afghans 50 Knit and Crochet Projects. And it says over 50 of the best Afghan patterns from Family Circle Easy Knitting magazine. I didn't even know that existed. Maybe it doesn't anymore. What's the copyright date on this thing? 2001, so 12 years old. So there's a few things I want to show you. The first one is the one that I'm going to make, and it's not going to, of course, look anything like it does in the book because they use different color of yarn, different colorway. But these are actually hexagons. If you look down here, you can see that's a hexagon right there. So you crochet a bunch of hexagons and you seam them together. And I thought that was a good idea, especially because the balls that I'll be using will be from several different dye lots, and that way it won't matter because when I put it all together, I can mix and match in there. I wanted to show you the hexagon without showing you the pattern details. So I think this will be something that'll be a fun, easy, relatively quick, and as Heather intended it, do this whenever I need cheering up, or sometimes you just need to knit or crochet with bright colors just to make yourself in a better mood, right? So that is what I will be doing. I'm going to do one and see if I like it. So, you know, the jury's still out, but this is the direction I'm leaning. I wanted to show you some other Afghans from this blanket. Oh, and I wanted to show you, I don't know if you noticed, this sort of cracks me up. This is where a good knowledgeable editor comes in handy. It says Medallion Medley for beginner knitters. This is crochet. They actually did that on a couple of the Afghans in here. I thought that was pretty funny. So this next blanket is knit, and it's really adorable. It's called Warm and Woolly, and it's a bunch of sheep. I just think that's adorable. Will I ever knit it? No. But it's a cute idea. It's done, I'm assuming, with intarsia. Doesn't really say in the directions. The next one I really like just because it's simple and beautiful and classic. This is called Sophisticated Sampler. It's for intermediate knitters. And it's just a sampler Afghan. It's got baubles and cables and all kinds of things. There's also a pillow. Let's see if I get a better shot of that. I just think that's beautiful just because it's the classic Aran looking blanket. This next one I love because one of the bright colors is second, the cute animals. This is called Her First Blanket, and there's also a boys version. It's for intermediate knitters. And again, I'm assuming that's intarsia. I could be wrong. That there's a sheep and a cow and a chicken and a rooster, all kinds of things. Horsey, piggy. That was adorable. And this last one is again crocheted, but they said it was for intermediate knitters. But this is using Tunisian crochet. When I was growing up, I remember my mom used to do Tunisian crochet, but I think back then they called it like Afghan crochet or Afghan stitch or something like that. I think this is really pretty. I would love to have this, but I would never make it. It's too fiddly. This is actually done, let's see, how do they say that it's done? Yeah, you're not changing colors as you do it from what I can tell. And these grapes are actually like bobbly looking things. They're not, it's really a three-dimensional. Anyway, however it's done, it's gorgeous, but it's not something I would actually make. I would like to have it in my house, but I would not actually make it. That's just not my style. So there's, like I said, there's 50 in here. There were several more that I really liked, but I wanted to show you my favorite ones. So if you're ever looking for a pattern, remember you can always go to the library and they're free. Okie dokie. Oh, I did some spinning this week. I haven't spun in weeks, so I wanted to do some spinning. And I wanted to spin on my drop spindle because I haven't done that in a while. And I guess all the spinning I'm doing in spin class at the gym has made me start thinking about the Tour de Fleece, which is coming up, which runs, it corresponds with the Tour de France, the Tour de Fleece every year. So I started thinking, I've already started making plans about what I'm going to do. Because last year, if you weren't watching, what I did is I did an episode almost every day of the tour. I did a little mini episode, so I'm going to do that again this year, and I've been already making some plans. So I am spinning on my trindle, which I will show you in a second, but I want to show you what I'm spinning first. This is some beautiful green gorgeousness that I got in an indie dyer swap from clothandstring.etsy.com, Joanna, and this stuff is amazing. It's Polworth silk, and it practically spins itself. This is my favorite. Polworth is my favorite that I've ever tried so far. So, and it's actually a little bit more vibrant green than what you're seeing on the camera. So I'm spinning it on my trindle, which is a drop spindle that has these three little balls on the top. And the trindle that I have, I think the older ones were not this way, but these are actually interchangeable for heavier or lighter. And so I got my trindle back out. I spun maybe not even half an ounce, but it just felt good to get it back out. So that is my current spinning project. I do want to get the wheel back out and spin some stuff on that, but like I said, this week I am not doing anything until the shawl is done. I'm determined, unless I go completely crazy and just need a break. Or if I have to go to a doctor's appointment or something, because then you always have to just take a sock with you, right? Okay. La, 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 la. Okay, so that's the spinning. And, oh, look what I made. Did you notice? I added a little flower to my wreath. And I had done this wreath out of some fun fur yarn, some ribbon type fun fur yarn. And so I got this little flower at Walmart. And I just put it on with a stick pin. There you go. I think it's really pretty. It sort of washes out. Actually, I like it that way. It washes out in this lighting. Oh, I should tuck my ends in better, huh? I think it washes out a little bit in this lighting, but that's okay. So these would be actually fun and cheap to make for seasonal. There we go. I like it. Okay. Stash enhancement, none. I was good again this week. I haven't been buying stuff, trying not to. Oh, darn it, I lied. Well, I can't show it yet, but I did order the bag from Sam from Knit Run Dig. Oh well. It's not here yet. It doesn't count. Let's see. Okay, tips and tricks. There is a thread in the Sock Bunny group for suggestions if you have a tip or trick that you want to share. My tip or trick this week has to do if you like to play online games like I do, especially if you like to play a lot of the ones that they have on Facebook. I mentioned before that I am crazy about Farmville 2 now. That's my current obsession. And that is by a company called Zynga, Zynga. And Ashley, Spun Too Tight, she told me that you can play Farmville directly on Zynga.com instead of playing it on Facebook, and you can get more rewards and have more friends that way. And you can have friends that don't have to be your Facebook friends. So if that interests you, check out Zynga, Zynga.com, and they have, oh gosh, probably 20 games on there that you can play. So thank you, Ashley, for that. And favorite things. These favorite things are not things, they are people. This topic this week is going to be the Multicraftual Podcast. This is a podcast by two beautiful women. They are Libby, who is Libby Ball, and Jessie, who is Jess Dodd. And they used to live in the same town, and then I think Libby moved, and they are not in the same town anymore. So they use, I'm assuming it's Skype or something like that to record, and they are in two different locations, but sort of like the Knit Girls do, where they are talking to each other, talking to you. And I am always in such a good mood after I finish watching their podcast. They are both so sweet and funny and positive, and you can tell they're truly really good friends with each other. And they sing, they're very talented. Jessie is an artist and she shows her paintings. Libby does belly dancing and is a seamstress. So you should totally check out their group. Both of them are actually participating in the poster contest and fitness along that I have every month. So you should check them out. They're not on iTunes, but they are on Blip, and you can also watch them from their blog. That's the word I'm looking for. You can find their group. It's called Multicraftual. It's a group in Ravelry, and I will link to their Ravelry group and to their blog in my show notes for this week on Ravelry, and also on this week's episode on the blog in case you want to check it out. And I totally think you should, because they're both super sweet and funny. And like I said, every time I watch them, I end up being in such a good mood when I'm done. Okay, what I'm watching and reading this week, I have been super obsessed with Star Trek The Next Generation. In fact, on Sunday, I went to church in the morning, and then I went and worked out, and then I watched 8 episodes, consecutive episodes of Star Trek Next Generation. I am in season 5. Right now, I'm not quite halfway done. I'd say I'm maybe on episode, yeah, I'm not even close to being halfway done with it. Okay, never mind. I think I'm on like episode 6 or 7 of season 5. There are 7 seasons, so I'm probably, when I get done, gonna rewatch all the episodes of Doctor Who, and then maybe Torchwood. Those will be my next things that I'm gonna watch. I did check out a couple of books out of the library on running, but I haven't had a chance to look at them yet. So I just wanted to get more information. I don't want to become one of these high-tech runners that, you know, needs all the gadgets and all that kind of stuff. I really want to just keep it pretty basic, because I think if I try to do too much gadgetry, then I think it would overwhelm me. So I'm just going to try to keep it simple. But I just wanted to, see if there was any tips or tricks, that I can learn about running, since I'm trying to learn how to start running again. Okay, I think that's it. We're going to talk about the shop update. So if you don't want to watch this part, feel free to leave. If you're going to leave, I just want to remind you that you need to remember to post your workouts in the workout thread. Today's the last day of February, so you can put, I already opened the March thread, so you can start posting your March things for tomorrow. If you're doing the fitness poster contest, you need to do your March fitness poster. You need to post it in the thread between the 1st and the 7th. And if you did already show your February poster at the beginning of the month, you have until March 7th to show your finishing February poster. And trust me, that makes more sense when you read the thread than me trying to explain it. And I guess that's it. So I'm going to show the shop update now. So if you're not going to stick around, I totally understand. But I wanted to show you real quick what's going to be. I have a small update going up on Sunday First, as I had mentioned, I did a colorway called Rhymes with Purple, and then I did Rhymes with Pink. So now I have Rhymes with Orange. One of my favorite colors. It's not quite as bright as what you're seeing there. Let's see if I can get a close up. That's more accurate. It's sort of a corally orange, not really a yellowish orange. It's more towards a pinkish orange. That's actually pretty accurate there. That's pretty accurate right there. So I will have 3 of these. These are on the Miracle base, which is the Twisty Twisty base. Then I have 3 skeins of DK that I dyed in a colorway called Coffee, Tea, or Me. And they are various shades of brown. Probably about 4 or 5 different shades of brown in there. That's the DK weight. It's a superwash merino. And then I also have 3 skeins of DK weight in a bluish grayish colorway that I haven't come up with a name for yet. Need to think of something clever. So you can see it's bluish, grayish, purplish. Let me show you close up. There you go. All right, so that's it. It's going to be a pretty small update, but there's still plenty of stuff in the shop if you want to go look. And the shop is at sockbunnystudios.etsy.com. And I guess that's it. I thank you so much for watching. I hope you come back next week. Thank you. Have a great week. Keep on crafting. Bye.